Hello, everyone. Hope you all had a good Monday. As for me, it was the same. With a short meeting after work about the new way we get raises, and which is a little weird for they're giving everyone a raise, but I'm not sure if I'm getting one because I'm still part-time temporary, as they say. Which means I work full-time, but still considered part-time in some little niche of a group I'm in, me and one other guy, and I'll have more about that in my blog tomorrow. And today is Monday, so Spooky Places Monday. This week we'll be visiting Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Harper's Ferry you can find off U.S. Highway 340, where the Potomac and the Shenandoah rivers meet. It is now a national park where tourists can go and visit. Park employees dressed in period clothing give tours and visit during the summer months and on weekends during the spring and fall. Tour on haunted places is given on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. History and description. The village of Harper's Ferry was a long history of bloody violence and natural disasters, earning the name of being a child of tragedy. As a result, it is thought to be one of the most haunted places in North America. Of course, I've heard that various times in different areas, so I don't know which is actually the most haunted areas. Real violent events started in 1859 when John Brown thought that the Harper's Ferry would be a perfect place to set up headquarters in any of the excellent hideouts where he could store weapons and troops to defeat the slave owners and be on his way to establish a slave-free place for runaway slaves. However, when the federal forces arrived to wipe out Brown and his army, many people living there were killed in the process. Because of this location, Harper's Ferry was in the middle of many battles during the Civil War, which also resulted in many horrible deaths of some men, but mostly women and children. Those who survived the battle suffered and sometimes died in epidemics and periodic flooding. Manifestations in the area. Many restless spirits walk the streets of Harper's Ferry and wander in and out of buildings and historic homes. The most haunted house on Harper's Ferry is the National Park Service guest house, used by visiting federal employees during various projects. A Georgetown federal employee met a glaring, glowing, but good-looking man dressed in a brocade vest, wearing a top hat and holding a cane, who was emitting hostile vibes. She ran to the balcony door where she felt an invisible hand pushing her in the back, causing her to stumble. She turned around and he had vanished. The same federal employee met a woman apparition on the staircase dressed in a long gray hooded dress, who was holding the hand of an 8-year-old child. Both ignored the employee and vanished. A planner from Denver staying at the same guest house saw the same good-looking glaring man in a brocade vest at the end of the hall, and the woman dressed in a long gray hooded dress with the little girl. All vanished before the planner's eyes. A researcher was taking a quick nap on the sofa in the front room. He awoke and felt that someone was watching him. He saw a man dressed in 19th century work clothes run by his sofa, carrying a dead man. Both disappeared in the hallway. Another historic house located in the central Harper's Ferry. Mr. C and his kids lived on the top floor for months, on and off. Mr. C was awakened by a little child's pitiful, heart-wrenching cry, which seemed to come from his bedroom closet. Mr. C, while doing the dishes late one night, saw a glowing white object float out of his closet and move toward his bed before vanishing. After going back to the dishes, a tremendous crash shook the house. After a thorough inspection, nothing was out of the ordinary. possible explanation was the haunting can be found in a recently found diary of the Civil War era woman, which tells of the sad tale of a baby's death caused by a fallen chimney, which happened in the middle of a Civil War battle, which was fought at Harper's Ferry. John Brown's farmhouse headquarters is called the Kennedy Farmhouse, which is a 200-year-old restored log cabin located 5 miles outside the main town. Brown and his 21 men slept upstairs in a small attic. Witnesses have heard John Brown's ghost pace back and forth on the top 2 floors. Footsteps of a crowd of people can be heard going up the stairs. Sounds of people talking, breathing, and snoring have been heard as well. Psychics feel an aura up in the attic. One psychic claimed to have made contact with John Brown himself, who was pleased with the renovation work done on his headquarters. Apparition resembling John Brown himself has been seen walking down the streets of Harper's Ferry, occasionally smiling at visitors. He obligingly posed for a picture with some West Virginia tourists who enthusiastically asked him to join them. When these tourists got their pictures back, there was a blank space where the old man had stood. No one else, though everyone else was accounted for. An unseen phantom army, complete with fife and drum sounds, marched down High Street. A little drummer boy who was killed when a Union soldier threw him out of a window cries for his mom. A young girl who was burned in a 1830 fire still screams for help, and Father Castillo's ghost can be seen praying for his congregation up on the hill at St. Peter's Church. Very spooky. Lots of good places to visit. If you ever go to Harper's Ferry, you might go check it out. That's it for spooky places this week, folks. Have a spooky night.